Hey y'all, whether it's morning, evening, or afternoon, I'm just glad that you guys had decided to vibe with E. Yes, the one and only E. Hey y'all, hope y'all feeling amazing, doing amazing, and just being amazing overall. And if not, it's okay, it's alright, my friend, because you know why? Bad times don't last forever because after every storm there is a rainbow, and you're getting closer and closer every day to that rainbow, that pot of gold, the light in the tunnel, whichever one you guys prefer. Okay, but I also want you guys to remember that bad times, we have to appreciate them and love on them because those bad times helped us, grounded us, as well as motivated us to get to the amazing, beautiful times that we want to see that is coming or we're seeing right now. Okay? Okay, so cheers to September. We are in the ninth month of the year. Like, wow, we are so close to the end of the year, and I'm super excited but super nervous as well because I don't know, I always get that feeling like of stepping into a new year soon. What is to come within mental health wise, financially, spiritually, emotionally, and things like that. But that's why I always rely on doing a what is it called? I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Vision board. Vision boards are very good, as well as setting goals, as well as seeing what you want to do, as well as what do you want to come. What do you want to come for you within these next couple days, months, weeks, whatever the case may be. You know. So as we enter September, a lot of things are coming to the wire as we about to close off 2025 as well. And within September, it just gives me so many things to talk about, as well as so many ideas, to the point where that I have to cut things short. So September only has 4 Wednesdays. So that means you'll get the three vibe of the days, sorry, and then you get the wellness one-on-ones. And September is full of a lot of activities that I'm super excited to talk about with you guys. And I really hope you guys enjoy those vibes as well as also preparing for October, November, December, the holiday time. Y'all know them vibes be epic. But if you're new here, where's my manners? If you're new here, welcome. And for the ones that are not new to this but true to this, hey y'all, what's up? What's poppin'? So, as always, I wish y'all nothing but the best. I hope things are going well. And if not, my friend, you got this. Slow and steady wins the race. Only time will tell when things come. And yeah, just put it at work. Manifestation is real as well as praying. Like those two things are really worth the while, as well as putting in that work. We can't do nothing if we don't put in the work. If we don't see results, then if you're not putting in the work, you're not going to see results. If that's better for you guys to understand, because that's what sounds better to say. But yes, I really hope that you guys, get to the things that you want to get to, as well as paying close attention to the things that is going to help you on a mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual aspects as well. And by it being a new month, it is impacted with new beginnings, new mindset, new focus, new start, new intentions, and new results. Like we just mentioned, it's very important that we do that because it's September. I pray this month be filled with blessings, love, and good vibes for you all. Okay? So without further ado, I'm going to read you guys the newsletter because that's how I always get to the nitty gritty so you guys can know what's going on. And then we're going to jump right into it. So I'm trying to try a lot of new things, y'all. That's why it took me a little too long to find this stuff because I had everything together. If you're watching on here and you see me on the iPad, because I had everything laid out, but certain stuff was not on the same page. But that's okay. That's all right. It's okay. So we are on the 12th newsletter, and I'm super excited about that. Having these weekly newsletters, y'all, are very challenging at times, but they're also exciting because it's like certain things like I can see what I need to change, what I should add, how to do things, and things of that nature. As well as I'm starting to introduce the Vibe It Out with guest appearances people, like the guest name, a little bit, but I still probably gonna give y'all like just a little glimpse of them and then let y'all watch the video to see who they are, because sometimes I don't like to spoil surprises. And with the Vibe It Out with Guests, the whole purpose of that is to y'all know who the guest is and get a little feel, as well as to sense who they are and what they're about. And that's why in the newsletter I give y'all a good summary. But now some newsletters, they may have their name in it and some may not, but it's okay, it's all right, it is what it is. So this is the 12th newsletter, and September's vibes is impacting education and wellness with impacting growing minds, nurturing souls. And this is part 1 because this is the first vibe of the day for Wednesday. This is the first Wednesday in September, so of course this is the first vibe of the month, so it's part 1 within the newsletter and things like that. We already went over the hope you're feeling amazing, doing amazing, the intro. And if not, that's okay, that's all right, because bad times don't last forever. After every storm there's a rainbow, and you're getting closer and closer every day to that rainbow. Okay, so September brings a sense of like reassurance, rewinding, and lots of new things to come. It's a time for new beginnings, fresh energy, and meaningful reflections. Whether returning to school, embracing a new season, or seeking more balance in the daily life, this month centers on education and wellness, growing minds with nurturing souls. As the first week of September unfolds, the focus is simple. Learning and healing go hand in hand. Growth isn't just about academics or career milestones. It's about protecting your peace, deepening in self-awareness, and embracing practices that helps you thrive inside and out. This week, I challenge you to seek balance in both your growth and rest. Celebrate wins, give yourself grace in your struggles, and remember, you don't have to choose between success and wellness. You deserve both. Okay, so y'all, I do see a little error I put in there, but that's okay. That's all right. That could be fixed. That's a little nothing. That's nothing. So we gave y'all a little bit of a what's to expect and what's to come, as well as what's the vibes that we're seeking for this September. And I like when I do that within the vibe of the day, as well as for like the weekly newsletters, because that also impacts like, okay, this may help me and it may not, but it's okay. It's all right if it do it, if it don't. Okay, it's okay. It's all right if it do, if it don't. So let me go back, y'all, because I fixed it, but now. Okay. So now we're going to go, I go from like vibe it out with guests, and then I give y'all the vibe of the day, because that's the last part. So vibe it out with guests, we are on the 19th guest appearance, and I'm super, super excited because we're so close to 20, and let's hope we reach our goal, because this year, my goal is to end out with at least, for this year, 25 or 30 guest appearances. If I could do that before December 31st, 2025, I will be so like ecstatic, because that's something like the whole purpose of Vibe It Out with Guests is to get guests on there to talk about anything and then see how it impacts with education and wellness, as well as educating others. So that's the whole purpose of Vibe It Out with Guests. And we're networking as we go. I'm helping you, you helping me, and we're just having an amazing conversation that just flourished into people saying, oh my gosh, this is so amazing, and maybe I want to do it next. So within this week's episode for My Guest on Fridays, come out at 5:30 Eastern Time. This week's episode features a powerful story of resentment, fatherhood, and legacy. And you guys will meet that person. He is a dedicated father, life insurance profession, and an advocate for resentment. He shares his custody journey, including the life-changing day of when it happened and when he officially won custody of his daughter with over a decade of him in the life of the insurance industry. He highlights the importance of financial security, legacy building, and why families, especially in the Black community, should prioritize protecting their loved ones. And the topics that we covered were the journey to winning custody and becoming a full-time father, lessons from being incarcerated, and the paths to redeem himself, as well as why life insurance is critical for families and building generational wealth, balancing fatherhood, career, personal growth, and what resilient looks like in action. This conversation is all about fatherhood, resentment, and being able to put yourself out there in the forefront to handle all the things that come your way as an African American man, as well as showing how setbacks can become strength and how a life can be built on love, responsibilities, and impact. Okay, and that will come out Friday, September the 5th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and you guys can listen to it on the RRS Auto podcast link and every other source that you listen to podcasts on, as well as on YouTube to get the visuals, and all that is in the link tree. And everywhere you listen to Vibing with E has the link for Vibing Out with Guests as well. And like I said, I'm still accepting guests, because the goal is to get to at least 25 or 30 guest appearances before December 31st, 2025. And all those forms and things like that is on the link tree as well. And the quote of this week, we're going to get into soon. But to stay connected, follow the podcast page on Instagram at vibing.with.e. And use hashtag Vibing with E to share your favorite moments and reflections. So let's jump right into today's Vibe of the Day to start off the first Wednesday of September. So, where meaningful conversations meet growth in real life conversations. So, the week of September 3rd, 2025, Wednesday drop. Back to school season is more than fresh notebooks and new classes. It's about creating harmony between school, work, personal life, and self-care. Whether a student, parent, or anyone navigating in a shift of routine, this vibe is for everyone. Balance is a perfection. It's grace, rhythm, and showing up for yourself in ways that feels healthy and sustainable. In this episode, we will be talking about what it really means to balance school, life, and wellness, how to protect mental health while staying on top of responsibilities, simple ways to build routines that supports both success and peace of mind, and why balance is the secret of thriving, not just surviving. This conversation is a reminder that you are more than your to-do list. Peace, rest, and joy belongs alongside your goals and responsibilities. And the quote of this week is, education is not just about filling the mind, it's about shaping the soul. And that taps into today's Vibe of the Day is back to school, back to balance. And the reason why I wanted to start out September with this, because as always, around this time, the kiddos are going back to school from pre-K, preschool, it's called pre-K 3, because that's preschool, pre-K, kindergarten, elementary level, middle school, high school, college, military, the Marines, and even professions going back to work to serve the children, or just going back to work with it, even doctors, lawyers, and things of that nature. This was very important to talk about because, like I said, I know how it feels to go back to school. I know the feeling of even getting back to the habit of getting back into rotation. This is a new chapter in your life. You're in a new grade. You are probably teaching a new grade or in a new school, whatever the case may be. You're back. You're trying to get back into the habit of getting up in the morning, having time to do what you love, as well as having time to handle paperwork, do schoolwork, lesson plans, whatever the case may be. I know it from the T. And that's why it's very important that it is September, because, some students went back in August and some just started yesterday. So this is very important. This is very key. This is very crucial. And if it can help in any way, I hope it does. Because like I said, too, not only is this helping for people going back to school, but it's also helping people find balance back into their life. Because I think we're on the second quarter. We should be in third quarter soon. Within the end of the month, I think we'll be in third quarter. And I guess fourth quarter will be the end of November, if I'm not mistaken, or the middle of November. I gotta do my research on that. But it's very important and it's very crucial that we do stay up to par, as well as give ourselves grace when it comes to us balancing back onto things, or finding a routine onto either going back to school or just balancing things, period, like with a new job, new baby, new change, whatever. And finding that balance is at times very hard and very crucial to do. Trust me. With me being in grad school, as well as going to internship 3 days out the week and going to school 3 days out the week. It's not easy. And me being able to find that balance every day, I'm still finding it, as well as still doing what I love and doing the podcast, doing homework, and even still trying to fulfill my needs within making sure that my self-care is being taken care of. Because at times when we have so much going on, we lose sight of self-care. We lose sight of giving ourselves that energy, the peace, and things that we like to do to help us to get to a point where of peace when we had a long day or just in general. So I hope this episode brings you guys a lot of understanding, as well as it helps you to give this knowledge to people you may know that needs to understand that, look, you need to give yourself grace. Don't beat yourself up, because I know this is a new routine, but I promise you by the end of September up till October, you will master this new beginning that you have going on within balancing how things are going in life. And if you're new here, I break down every vibe of the day, as well as Wellness 101, lesson of the day, into the definition, the 5 W's, the quote of the day, and thank you for tuning in. Okay, so let's get started. Today's vibe of the day, episode 119, is back to school, back to balance. So what is that all about? So back to school, back to balance is about internationally creating harmony between academics, personal life, and self-care as the season begins. It's recognizing that success doesn't only come from grades or achievements, but it's also from how well you manage your energy, time, and mental health. Balance isn't about perfection. It's about knowing, when to work hard and when to pause. It's about giving yourself grace when things don't go exactly as planned. True balance meaning building a rhythm that supports both your growth and your well-being inside and outside the classroom. So basically what we dived into the newsletter with going back to school and having that balance is a way for you to create how to handle all your things within academics, your personal life, and self-care. Because academics is a very big thing, because you're in school for a good 6.5 or 7 hours, depending on what it is. Or even in college, sometimes you're there for 3.5 hours, maybe even 6-7 hours, depending on how your classes are, as well as what your classification is. Freshman year, I want to say you're probably there a little bit more than you are within your junior and senior year, because it's senior year and junior year is you have all the credits coming up, and then sometimes it don't be that way, but it's okay because you're still gonna get that degree regardless. Okay. And academics sometimes will play a big impact onto how to even manage the day. That's the biggest thing within impacting going back to school, as well as managing back to the balance. I've been to 3 universities. This is the 3rd university I'm at currently. And finding balance is one of the challenging things that I have seen. But for me, as a person that maps out things, and hopefully it'll help you guys too, mapping it out, writing out, okay, how the day is going to go. If Mondays you don't have class, but you work, center yourself within squeezing in your mental health, self-check-ins and stuff like that, because it's very important, as well as being able to balance what you can do and what you cannot do, because it's 24 hours in a day. You can't do everything in one day. Sometimes you got to put things onto another day or push things to next week, but please ensure that you're giving yourself the nutrients and care that is needed, because if not, that's where the magic word comes in, and that is burnout. Nobody wants to experience burnout, and I promise you guys, you don't want to experience it. It's not healthy. It's not good. It's so hard to get out of a burnout. That's why it's very important, and I promote it a lot, that you have to include self-care, have the mirror conversations, have a counselor, go to therapy, whatever, touch grass, journal, go to the gym, whatever makes you feel happy and gives you peace of mind. Please do it, especially in the time of you getting ready for whatever is to come in your life. Okay? Especially balancing going back to school or handling a business, whatever the case may be. Please prioritize your self-care, because that also impacts with personal life. Going into make sure that you're doing the necessary things and keeping track of everything. Even at times as adults, we lose sidetracks of things like making appointments, going to doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, things like that. Please make sure that you also take that into consideration, because that impacts with balance as well within, even with your mental, physical, emotional appearance. And then also too, self-care is very important. I'm going to say it over and over again. Please prioritize your self-care, because if not, it's going to have you off your game. Because success doesn't only come from grades or achievements, but it also comes from how you manage your time and your energy. If you do not manage within your personal life, your professional life is going to be sidetracked. That's why it's important that you make sure them things go hand in hand, and make sure that everything you're doing is for the right being. Especially going to school, it's very important that you have some type of tool or talk to someone or skill that helps you when you're, what's the favorite word that the kids say today? Crash out. You feel like you're about to crash out or about to start a riot. That was one of my favorite things. You please make sure that you incorporate self-care or some type of energy to help you with your mental health and emotional, physical, spiritual well-being, because if not, that burnout is going to creep up on you, and it's hard to get rid of a burnout. Trust me. So please make sure that once you're balancing this back to school, this back to balance lifestyle, that your head is in the game, but also you're putting yourself first. Yes, school comes first. You want them good grades and stuff, but you got to make sure in order for you to get good grades, you're getting 7 to 9 hours of good sleep, eating properly, studying properly, listening carefully, also even being present. Like, you could be there physically, but mentally sometimes we're not there. So trust me, it takes time. Slow and steady wins the race. It takes time, but I guarantee you, the end of September to the beginning of October, you'll be a master at this, and it will come to you like, hey, this ain't nothing. That's why it's important that, to understand that balance isn't about perfection. It's about you knowing what works for you and what don't. And when to give yourself grace, when to pause, when to step back, be like, look, I can't do this right now, so I must try to put this on the back burner, get myself together, and we're going to try again. Okay? Because it's about giving yourself that grace when things does not go exactly as planned. Because the true balance, meaning within building your rhythm, seeing what works for you. Having them plan A sometimes don't work. It's like need plan B, C, D, F, and G, and all them things. Sometimes we got to take part of plan A, put in plan B. And, that's why it's important that we try. Dust yourself off and try again. It's okay. It's all right. Because you know what's best for you. No one's going to tell you what's best for you. They're going to give you strategies and suggestions. And if you take those ideas, and it may work, and sometimes it may not. But also at times I tell people, see what works for you. And if you need the help, come get the help. Go get the help. Okay? Sometimes, it's like, okay, let me try myself and see what happens. But if look, this ain't working, that ain't working, don't be afraid to ask for help. Because that also will help within you to balance yourself, as well as within school. Sometimes with academics, we need help. Trust me. Take it from me. Math was not my best subject in college. I had to get as many tutoring sessions as possible for me to pass. Okay? Don't be afraid, because that also sees what's for you and what's not. Like, what's your strong point and what's not. But it all work out. So who is impacted? Who is impacted with this back to school, back to balance topic? Like, who is impacted? Students are the most impacted as they navigate classes, activities, and responsibilities. But they're not the only ones. Parents and caregivers feel the pressure of supporting their children while juggling their own commitments, as well as educators are also impacted as they balance teaching, grading, and personal life. Even those outside of school cycles, such as professionals, can feel a shift in energy and suggest when back to school season arrives. Ultimately, anyone adjusting to a new routine or season benefits from embracing a balanced approach. So within this case, we talk about back to school and everything, but everyone is impacted by this. Everyone is impacted into starting a new chapter in their life, even from being new parents to new guardians, taking on a new position, becoming a CEO, a boss, whatever the case may be. Everyone's impacted, including the students. Let's talk about students first. From pre-K 3, that's preschool, all the way up to college, or college and a career programs, things like that. Any student, I don't care what you are, what you're doing. If you're a student, my biggest thing that I want people to know that at times you're not going to get everything right. At times you're not going to get those A's right away. Trust me. And it builds time for you to balance what you see, what's for you and what's not for you. How you study and how are you balancing your studying. It's very important that also too that when you start anything, even we have to teach little kids to be organized, even if we're not a student, working, whatever, being organized is very important. And if you're not organized within your work, your life is not going to be organized. And I know y'all probably like, what does that mean? If you're not prioritizing within paperwork and scheduling for classes, stuff like that, I guarantee you in your personal life, things are not organized either. Trust me. It can be something so small that we get sidetracked off and we be like, I forgot, or something's missing. And that's why it's very important that at least the night before school start or a week before school starts, you try to get into the habit of organizing. Like binders were a big deal when I was growing up, and having them dividers, making sure that this assignment, this stuff goes into this section only. Map out what's for this, map out what's for that, as well as knowing what's needs to be done this day and what doesn't need to be, and what's due the weeks to come. As I graduated high school and started college, having a planner was the most best thing that I've ever invested, because I am used to, putting things on my phone, but sometimes I need to see it in the paper, in my face, to check it off, to make sure that I did it. Like, don't get me wrong, y'all. I have my iPad, my laptop, my phone, my watch. But it's something about having that piece of paper in hand for you to see it and be like, check it off or highlight it off, makes things 10 times better. Or vice versa. If you have to have it on your phone and you can see it and you take it off, cool. Or if you need multiple sources like I do, I put it in the phone, on the calendar, and I still put in a reminder to make sure to whatever floats your boat. For all the students out there, please be organized. As well as the parents, at times it be a headache. I can imagine it's a headache. But then you prioritize what you got going on and making sure that the little ones are intact and making sure that they got stuff going on. Make sure you're prioritizing that. You got everything under control. And organizing is one of the biggest things. Like, with you balancing going back to school or balancing a new school or things like that, having that organization to the T mastered will have you feeling 10 times better. Trust me. Because in high school, it was just like, I got this. I know what this is. I know what that is. But sometimes you can still slip up. But when I got to college and seeing how all these classes I had to take and the time and all these assignments thrown left to right, I invested in a planner. My planner, I still have it. It was so little, y'all. And then as that went up, I invested in another one. That thing was a good dice size. And then so on and so on. Like, it's amazing, y'all. So all the students out there, please invest in a planner to help you. Because as you navigate the classes, the activities and responsibilities you have, you're going to lose it. Especially once you hit high school, that's where it prepares you for, like, middle school. They call it junior high. They prepare you for, like, switching classes and stuff. But high school, you're going to be all around the building. You probably be in classes with seniors. That's how bad it gets for you sometimes. You're like, whoa, what the? And that's why it's very important that you have a planner and map out everything, or have your paperwork in the places that need to be to a T, because if not, you're going to be messed up. As well as, like, all the after school activities you have, like sports, working, and things like that. It's very important that you know how to balance that out, because you still need to also incorporate getting your schoolwork done and also loving on you, getting that self-care for you, getting that 7 to 9 hours of sleep, eating right, having those times to meditate, as well as giving yourself grace to rest or do whatever you like to do. Still incorporate something in your 5 days out of the week that you go to school, or maybe 6, because college, sometimes we have to go to school on the weekends, to please prioritize that self-care. Balance out those things. Like, okay, I'll wake up in the morning, do what I have to do, whatever. go to school, whatever you have to do. But when you get home, eat, get your homework and stuff out the way. But also, if you like to journal, like to draw, art, whatever, do that. That impacts with you having a sense of feeling like at ease. Even at times when you have a bad day, that's the perfect thing to do. Right when you get home, please do the things that help you feel better. Trust me. Even a nap that impacts with your wellness, but also to try to get those habits the hobbies and stuff that you like, also incorporate them as well, because there's a lot of responsibilities that you have to handle, as well as with your parents and your caregivers. They have a lot of pressure they have on them right now from working and making sure that you guys are good at all times, inside and outside of the classroom. Inside with it means being at home, and outside meaning at school or even at your extra activities and working. They have a lot of pressure on them for themselves, as making sure that they're, working, making sure that they're getting stuff for the family, as well as making sure that their child is safe. When you drop them off, you should be able to feel at ease when you pick them up. We all go through those feelings. That's how I feel like with my siblings. I'd be like, they make sure they're good. Because sometimes things can happen at any given time. And that's why having that balance of being back to school, as well as balancing a routine within your family, is very important. As well as when it comes to the parents and the caregivers feeling the pressure of supporting their children while juggling their own commitments. Because your parents, got to work. Some of them are self-employed. The self-made. They still got to run their business, but also make sure that their child is taken care of and their child is getting everything that they need to get while going to school, as well as coming home and making sure that they're up to date with academics, as well as up to date within the extra curriculums that y'all have, as well as making sure that they're getting the self-care needed while taking care of everyone. Because that's a big thing too. When you're taking care of everyone, you need to find a balance for yourself. And a lot of parents and caregivers have that. And at times that's when they get burnt out, when they don't have time to themselves. So if you know your parent or guardian or caregiver out there is doing so much for you, please love on them and give back in return to let them know that, hey, I'm here for you. If you need help, tell me what I need to do and I'll do it myself, or I'm gonna give you time off to relax and stuff and I'll just handle it. Because y'all never know how much of that's needed. As well as educators and staff, please be kind to the educators and staff. I know sometimes they might get on your last nerves, but they go through it as well. They are the ones that are impacted with balancing within the teaching you, gradings, and their personal lives. Like, I know some people that are teachers, social workers, counselors, and stuff, but they're still parents. They're still human. They have parents. They're pet parents, dog moms, cat moms, dads, whatever. And they have personal lives. Some of them running businesses. Some of them are trying to start a business or whatever projects, other case may be. Overall, you need to treat everybody with peace and respect that's needed. As well as even those outside of the school cycle, such as the professionals. Anybody in the schoolhouse. They can feel a shift as well in the energy and the structure when back to school season arrives. If they've been at that school when we on summer break and stuff, some of them are still there to get the building and stuff done or doing whatever in the building. And they be prepared. They be like, look, we got to prepare for this. So your best bet, y'all, even inside and outside the classroom, please be kind to yourself as well as to others. It's not going to kill you, because you never know how much of you just being there, being respectful to others as well as giving them grace can really help them out and prepare them for this school year to come, including the parents, the caregivers, you as a student, the students around you, the professions around you, or you as a professional, as a student, whatever, teacher, whatever. This is mainly for you. Ultimately, anyone who's adjusting to it, I don't care if you're in school or not, anyone adjusting to this new routine or season, this benefits with you embracing the balanced approach. It's okay. We're all going to have these hiccups, but that's why it's important that you know what you learn right now, what you can do and what you cannot do. And that impacts with what is the benefit. Like, what is the benefit of you prioritizing you being back to school or whatever, doing back something or starting something within learning the balance as well as back to balancing it or starting this new balance. Well, when balance is prioritized, stress levels decrease. So when you prioritize your balance as well as starting now, seeing what's for you and what's not for you, excuse me, you get to see what you can take and what you cannot take. This prioritizes you for not being stressed out. If you wake up and you know what today is, and you know what you're going to get done today, or what needs to get done today, and you make the best out of it, I promise you, you're going to feel good. As well as incorporating that self-care, taking breaks, and prioritizing your wellness and eating properly, okay? When the balance is prioritized, stress levels decrease. Your focus increase. You're more focused. You're more in tune. Trust me, I understand this probably the first week of school for some, the second week for some, third, I don't know. But it's going to it takes a while for you to get back to focus because sometimes you're still in summer mode. Summer isn't over till I think September 22nd or the 1st, if I'm not mistaken. The weather, it's getting to that point, sometimes we still waking up a little bit late or going to bed late. Trust me, by the end of September, the beginning of October, you're going to master it. You're going to find that balance. If you found it now, kudos to y'all because Jesus, I wake up on time and stuff, but I still be like, I want to get in the bed. We all have it, but it's okay. It's all right. Once you get the hang of it, it's like, this is nothing. But that balance is very important because you want to walk into any place that you're going, schoolhouse, the professional, your job house, career, whatever. You want to wake up and to have your stress levels down. You want to make sure you're focused to the T because that increases and that helps you understand what's being taught to you and what you need to teach, as well as it prioritizes a natural flow. Being able to product a natural flow is also a key. It's like once you get the hang of it, like you built that routine, like, okay, today's Monday, whatever the case may be, like, okay, today's Monday, because next week, the kids they go back that Monday. Like, it's a full week of school. It's not a 4-day week of school. It's the whole 5 days. All right, Monday, wake up. Okay, wake up at 7 o'clock. Make their bed, lay the clothes out, take their shower, do their self-care, like brush their teeth, wash their face, dry off, get everything. They should be done that by 8 o'clock. Eat breakfast, and they should be out the door by 8:35 so they could be to school at whatever time is needed. Stuff like that. Even as professions, sometimes it's hard for them because sometimes they have to wake up 2 or 3 hours early depending on where are they located. Because some teachers you may see, even professors and students, are not in the zip code. They're not in the zip code, but they still make it their priority and their prerogative to make sure that they're there on time. And you be like, I didn't know you lived that far, and you come here every day on time because that's the balance that they learn. Like, yes, I might be far, but this is the balance, and this is the schedule I have to adapt to. I gotta go to bed a little bit early so I can wake up early to get to this place a little bit early or exactly on time. It's a sacrifice that we have to make, and at times we be like, but it's very important. Because when balance gives you the clarity to manage the deadlines without feeling overwhelmed. It's very important that you prioritize that balance so you don't feel like you're overwhelmed. Balance gives you the clarity to manage deadlines without feeling overwhelmed. This goes for assignments, creating assignments, whatever the case may be. It also provides space for creativity, reflection, and personal growth. Things that often get lost when we're moving too fast. With balance, you can enjoy the process of learning and living rather than just rushing through it. Most importantly, balance helps protect your mental health and gives you energy to keep moving forward with the strength of joy. So it's very important that even though we're back into going to school or starting school, it's very important that we know why it's important for us to benefit this balance within all these things that we're having in life. Because if not, we don't get the clarity to meet these deadlines that we need to do, and without us feeling overwhelmed. Self-care is very important that we do, as well as prioritizing our stress levels. We have to make sure that we keep it to at the bottom, decrease. Within making sure that we do that, we have to focus on prioritizing things that matter. So those things that don't matter, like staying on the phone all night stuff, that can make your priorities increase, because that time that you waste on that phone, you could have been asleep. Trust me, we're still learning. But when you get to that routine, like, look, I'm not being on the phone with you all night, Johnny. Like, I gotta go off the phone. Or Keisha, I can't be on the phone with you tonight, girl. Like, whatever the case may be, trust me, we learn as we go. But the best thing too is, like, when balance is prioritized, your stress levels decrease. You're not stressed out. Even the little big things that used to just make us angry, it goes down. As well as our focus, being fully alert, even though we're at this place for so many hours most of the day, it's important that we eat properly, get the proper rest, so we can be alert throughout the day. If we don't have these things prioritized, it's not going to naturally flow. And that's why it's important that you give yourself grace and just take your time and see what works and what doesn't. Because balance gives you clarity to manage the deadlines without feeling overwhelmed. Going back to it, also provides space for creativity. You create what's for you and what's not. Sometimes you get jazzy with it. You reflect, oh, okay, this worked, this didn't, okay, and you see the personal growth within yourself, that things often get lost when we're moving too fast. With the power of balance, you can enjoy the process of learning and even living rather than rushing through the process. Take it from me. Sometimes I'd be like, look, let's get this over with. But when you sit there and just enjoy it, you be like, whoa, I don't want a day to end. So that's important with you in balancing things. But most importantly, balance protects you with your mental health, and it gives you energy to keep moving forward and strength and joy with throughout the day. That can even get you excited for the next day and the whole week. Trust me, it's slow and steady when the race, and then you know what's for you, what's not. Trust me, I've been there, I've done that. Even in college, I still get the jitters, like, okay, let's get this over with. But then it's like, you know what? It's kind of interesting, and I'm here for it. So let me take my time and just enjoy this knowledge that's being poured into me, that I'm going to gravitate like a sponge. Trust me, guys, we all go through those things, and that's why it's important that your mental health is being prioritized, so you can be able to manage and balance everything that's going on within your life. Oh, my finger is bleeding. But not too bad, y'all, not too bad. So when should you prioritize balance? Right away. Before I even read these notes I had, prioritize your balance right away. When you get a sense of a new beginning, a new chapter in everything in your life, please prioritize your balance right away. As soon as you prepare for this new change, prioritize the balance right away, so you get a glimpse of what you need to do more and what you don't need, and what you probably need to add and what you need to take out. Balance should be prioritized at the beginning of every new season or transformation. Back to school season is the perfect time because it sets the tone for the months ahead. You should also prioritize balance anytime you feel overwhelmed or strength too thin. It's important to notice the signs of not being balanced, of not balanced early, like being exhausted, stress, or lack of motivation, and take action before burnout happens. Take action before burnout happens. Hello. Making balance a consistent part of your life, but mainly your lifestyle, allows you to stay grounded no matter what challenges come your way. So y'all might be thinking it don't make sense or what do it, but it does. And it's very important, because you should prioritize balance right before the new season or transformation is about to come in your life. If not, it's not going to look good. You know them scrabbles, them arts they try to show you, like how life will be if you're not organized, and what you see in the picture, that's how it's going to be. If you don't have your life and your schedule to a T, where, okay, this is going to work, this is how it's mapped out, you're going to be screwed. That's why it's important that you make sure that you're prioritizing with it, making sure that you set the tone for what's to come within the months ahead. As well as you should also prioritize the balance anytime you feel overwhelmed or stressed thin. It's important to notice these signs of things not being balanced as early as possible, like being exhausted or stressed or lack of motivation. Please incorporate that self-care as well as knowing what's for you and what's not, so that burnout do not happen. Because when you make the balancing consistent a part of your lifestyle, you stay grounded, you'll come a long way from these challenges. That impacts with where does balance matters the most. This impacts with everything in your daily routine, everything you do. It's very important that you take balance to the T, seriously, okay? So where does balance matter most? It matters every day, every single moment in your life. Managing yourself and what you can take, what you cannot take. Balance matters most in your daily routines. How you strengthen your mornings, manage your schoolwork, and cave out your personal time. It finds in the boundaries you set with friends, social media, and commitments. Balance also shows up in how you care for yourself, your physical health, through rest, nutrients, and movements. In the classroom, balancing more managing time to study without neglecting, your mental health. In your personal life, balance means creating space, relationships, fun, and rest so you can return to your responsibilities refreshed. So when you're in this new chapter in your life, it's important that you map out things that matter and don't matter. Such as, I'll tell y'all this, when I started college undergrad for my BSW, I had to cut out a lot of things I used to like to do. Like sometimes during Friday nights, I wanted to go out. Undergrad year, I want to say junior going up to senior year, I wasn't going out like that. I wasn't going out like that because the assignments I had, internships, still working and still handling the business, it wasn't there. My social life was not to the T. Like being social with my friends, but you have to understand when you have friends that's in the same, going to school with you and may not be in the same profession, they'll understand. And if they don't, please hope and pray that they'll send you, prayers and blessings. And if they don't, then you go to see who's there for you, as well as for family. It's very important that you structure what's for you and what's not. Within our personal life, hanging out, our social life, that's what we want to do. I had to cut things short because the way that the workload was getting, if I didn't get it done right away to understand it, not get it done right away. If once the assignment was given, if I don't, ask the questions to understand what I'm doing, so when it's time for me to start on the assignment, yes, right away, so I can understand and not to rush it, I'm screwed if I don't sit there and take the time to be like, look, okay, let me see what works and what doesn't. So, yes, at times, I didn't hang out with my friends. And when I did, it might have been for once in a blue moon or once every month. But it was understandable because we all have goals, as well as vice versa. As well as how I structure my mornings. I'm real big on how my morning goes. The morning routine is a key because that also helps you with a float onto how to prepare for the day. As well as managing your work schedule. Like I said, your school work schedule. Like I said, you got these classes throughout the day. Make sure that you're doing what needs to be done before the next class. As well as homework and keeping afloat. And also, building that relationship with your peers is also going to help you because they keep you in afloat. Group me and whatever way y'all communicate is very needed, as well as with professionals. And even if you're not in school or not, having those group chats as well as staying in tune with the people you work with and surrounded by, that helps a lot. As well as carving out personal time. Please make sure that you do give personal time to yourself, even if you're not being social. Please incorporate self-care as much as possible. Because when you find it in the boundaries you set with your friends and social media and the commitments you see, you get to see who understands and who don't. And at times it's okay. But, look, right now I might not be able to hang like we used to. But when it's time, when this go down, we outside. Or I can do this, I can do that. But also give an approach of being real and not, saying, look, I can't do this. No. With an attitude, no. Be straight up hey, guys, this is going on. You might not hear from me for a while. Don't take it personal. But I gotta lock in because this degree or whatever, this new chapter of my life is, I wanted this, I manifested this, I got it. I gotta make sure I'm taking care of it as well as take care of myself. You're gonna hear from me here and there, but just know I'm getting this done, and yeah, as well as the balance you showing up and how you care for your physical health. Make sure you're getting that proper rest, get the proper nutrients in your life, and the proper movement that's needed in the classroom or outside. Balancing, managing your time, studying, and not neglecting your mental health and personal needs, as well as in your personal life. Balance means, creating that space for relationships and fun and rest so you can return to your responsibility refreshing. Like, when you have the time, like, okay, I handle everything, I'm good to go. That's when you hang out at whoop-de-whoop. But if you don't, do not even send that text message or call and be like, look, we're going outside. You know you got a paper to do. Shoot. I knew some of my friends, they was like, look, we were out and they were doing papers in the daggone restaurant or in the car. I was like, you're better than me, because I would have told y'all, I'm not coming out tonight. I'm sorry. I can't focus. Like, if I'm in a place with a lot of noise, I can't even type. But to them, I salute them all the time, because they are my hero. Because, baby, I cannot be in the club or eating or anywhere and we having a good time and you're on that phone typing the paper away. It's no way. But they mastered the skills, and baby, they got it done, and they where they need to be at in life, okay? So kudos to all of y'all. It's a skill that people can master, but I can't master that at all. Like, y'all will not. I can't. Like, I'm scared. Like, something will go wrong. But it's, whatever floats your boat. So, okay? And overall, why is it important? Like, why is this so important? Without balance, burnout, and stress can take over quickly. Y'all know I'm big on this. If you're new here, that word burnout, I make sure that it does not even creep up in my life or the actions, because when it creeps up, baby, it creeps up and it don't go away until you even get the tools that's necessary for it to go away. Trust me. Because without balance, burnout and stress can take over quickly, leaving you drained and unmotivated. And we need you to be fully energized and motivated within this new chapter of your life. Whether you're going to school, you're in the school teaching, or a staff, a parent, a guardian, or whatever you're doing in your life, you need to have this energy and you need to be afloat and be motivated and alert. Because when you create balance, you open the door to thrive, not just surviving. We're open that door to thrive. We not just survive, we need to thrive and survive. Without those two going hand in hand, you're screwed. You're screwed. Balance allows you to chase your goals without sacrificing your health, relationships, or peace of mind. It reminds you that worth isn't tied to constantly busyness, but to how well you take care of yourself while showing up for your responsibilities. Balance is the foundation that keeps your mind, body, and spirit aligned so you can truly succeed in every area in life. It's very important that you prioritize your mental health and your well-being, as well as balance. If you don't have balance in your life, things will not go afloat. That's why it's important that in order for you to thrive, you have to make sure that you're getting everything that's needed. The proper sleep, eating right, paying attention, listening. Even you have to discipline yourself within social media time. How much you go out, how much you spend your time on what. Even finance, sometimes, y'all, if we know we don't got it like that, I'm not gonna go out here and blow it like this because I want to have a good time. No, especially that gut is telling you, do not go out there, do not go out there. It happens, y'all. It happens to us. It happens. But it's very important that you keep yourself you hold yourself accountable to the T on balancing your life, regardless of what you're doing. I don't care if you're a parent, a student, a guardian, work in the field, don't work in the field, or going to school or nothing. Balance is very important. When you allow yourself to have balance, that help you with the goals you want to do, that help you be ambitious, as well as it helps you within sacrificing what is needed for you, what you want in your relationships, and the peace of mind that is necessary for you to navigate this thing called life. Because life be lifing, and it can creep up on you in so many ways. And that's why it's very important that you do not let burnout creep up on you. And sometimes you can't be stagnant. That's another word I love. That's stagnant. You don't want to be stagnant forever. You don't want that to happen. Sometimes we got to try new things and surround ourselves with new people and things, because sometimes freestyling works and sometimes it don't. And that's why it's very important that you learn how to balance your life right now, because only you know what's best for you, and others around you can help you, but they're not going to tell you what's best for you, like this is best for you. They're going to help you to say, look, this may help. I'm going to give you some strategies. This may help. If it don't, we might find some more, or I might give you someone that knows how to, or I might recommend you to someone that may be able to help you a little bit more. That's why I say all the time, it's okay to go talk to someone. Having a therapist, a counselor, whatever. A mentor is very needed. Having them people in your corner that's going to support you, as well as trying new things, like trying to see, like, okay, I could do this, or some things I can't do. Just taking that risk too and seeing what works for you, because balance is key. Without balance, you're going to be screwed and you're going to be burned out, as well as going back to school or starting new chapters in your life. Please prioritize balance, because if you don't have balance, it's not going to work, because you open the door to thrive, not to survive. We're here to thrive, while not just having that term, oh, I'm just surviving. No, you're here to thrive as well. And that leads with the quote of the day. Balance is not something you find, it's something you create. By Jonna Kingsford. Balance is not something you find, it's something you create. Okay? As always, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's vibe of the day. I hope you guys learned a lot of things, including even within school or not within school. The whole key to this is you being able to balance things in life. Okay? As always, I wish you guys nothing but the best. Please be safe out here. Love on yourself and others. I'm here for you. You got this. I'm your biggest cheerleader, okay? I thank you all so very much for taking the time out of your busy day to even listen to me, to learn more, as well as even putting new people on. From the likes, the comments, and subscriptions, all that. I thank you all so very much. As always, please respect others and respect yourself. Pour into your cup. And always love on yourself and be nice to others, because you never know how much that is needed. Until next time, you guys will hear from me. Bye. Love you all dearly.